Hello everyone and welcome back. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at Clash of Corgis. I want to thank the designer and the publisher of this game who provide this copy for this review. So let's take a look at what this game brings. This little deck of cards actually has three different modes. So let's see how they play and then let's come back here to my final thought. The first mode is the original. This is a very classic card shedding game. So the aim of this game is to get rid of your cards. The first player to do so will win the game. This game can be played between 2 and 4 players. And to set up the game, you shuffle the deck and then you give 12 cards to each player. What you see here, we have 5 different suits from this color, and each number is associated with a special figure or character. Then you can have the bard, you can have the warrior, the magician, etc. The cards goes from 1 to 10, and then you have the illusionist here, which is a wild card. We're gonna go back to this later on. So how you play the game? The player that leads can decide to lead a sequence or a combo. What you can do is play a single card, for example, and so every player has to follow with a single card, but the trick is have to be higher. So for example, the next player comes and may follow with the 5. As you see here, there are many games that have the same mechanic. There's going to be a twist we are going to discuss a little bit later, which are the special powers. So this goes around the table until someone will pass, so cannot follow. As soon as everyone passes, the last player who played the card will win the trick and will discard. This card will be eliminated, and then that player that win can lead again. For example, the player will lead this time a pair. When you lead a pair, the opponents have to follow with a higher pair. For example, they will follow with 2 aces. Let's say that goes back to another player that doesn't have a higher card than 2 aces. This is the highest they can do. What they can do is play the illusionist. The illusionist always wins or shows a higher player. So in that case, everyone will be forced to pass, and then we'll move on. You can play a single card, you can play a pair, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind. What is the twist here? The twist is this card over here. I'm not gonna go into details about everything, but when you play your combo, one card or a pair or whatever, you can activate. So let's make an example that a player leads with the pair, and that is the archer. The power of the archer is that target any player, randomly select a card from that player hand and expose it. What that means is that one player is forced to show one card, so expose it and put it face up in front of everyone. What it causes is that this card can be get rid of it only if lead as a single card cannot be associated with a matching pair. So it's very debilitating for other players. And so you have as I said, many powers. I'll let you go through by yourself, and every time you play a combo, you can activate the powers. The first player to remove all the cards in their hands is the winner. The other mode you can play is called Treasure Island. Also, Treasure Island is a game between 2 and 4 players. What you're gonna do, you're gonna take your deck and you're gonna shuffle. In Treasure Island, you're aiming to win 10 loot. Loot is the equivalent of kill 10 bad guys. And there's a push or luck element into this game. On your turn, you have 3 actions. 2 are mandatory, 1 is optional. The mandatory one is to draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hands. So at the beginning of the game, you will draw 3 cards. Then you can play 1 card which represent your clan, your team that is gonna go and fight the enemies. So in this case, for example, I would play the 2 if I want to. And also in this case, you have the special powers here. I'm not gonna go into details that you can activate throughout the game. Then if it goes back to me, I can take this and I can select another one. In your team, you can only have a maximum of 2 cards. So what happened is, for example, if you draw a better card, like I did in this case, on my turn, I can replace one of the previously played cards with another one. The third optional action is to fight the foes. To fight the foes, you reveal up to 3 cards from the deck. So I have here 12, and what you're gonna do is sum the value of these cards, and you want to beat the value of the cards that will show up here. So 12, I don't feel very confident that I'm gonna beat those cards. So for example, I decide to reveal only 2 cards. So I do a 6 and I do an ace. Oh, that's very bad because aces and then wild card are equal to 10. So in this case, I have 16 versus my 12. So I lose. When I lose, this is as like the 4 beat my team, and so those are got discarded, and I don't win anything. So let's say that my team has here a 17. I decided to draw 3 cards because I feel very strong. Here I have a 9 for 10, and here for 14. So I have 17 that beats 14. So I win all this, and these are 3 of my loot. Remember, you need to get to 10 to win the game. I put it on my side. This gets discarded, and we continue. The game goes around among players until someone reaches 10 points. The last mode is find the illusionist, and this is only a 2-player game. So you want to find the opponent illusionist. Whoever finds the opponent illusionist 2 times wins the game. To set up the game, you need to select the 2 suits with all 11 cards. So in this case, I take these 2 suits, which represent the cards of each player. So for example, this is going to be my deck. What I'm going to do, I'm going to shuffle my cards, and I'm going to remove the 3 randomly, and I'm going to make 2 rows of 4 cards. The opponents will do the same. Will make 2 rows of 4 cards like this, and they're going to have their own ends. So on my turn, I can do 2 things. I can play a card, or I can look at one of these cards because I don't know what's in here. For example, I may look at this secretly. I know it's the ace, and I put it face down if I want to, or I can play it. So for example, I may reveal the ace, and when I play it, I will activate the power. Guess what? We have a reference here that will tell you what the power is. I remember this is optional. I don't have to reveal it. If I found that this is the ace, I don't have to reveal it. When I use the power, the card will be put sideways, and the game will continue. Or I can play a card from my hand. When I play a card from my hand, I will put it here below, and if I activate it, once again, I will put sideways. When the turn goes back to me, all the sideways cards will be rested, so will be back and ready to be played. And the games goes on and on until you find the illusionist. But first of all, you want to know where your illusionist is, for example. Okay, let's say this is in my illusionist. So what happened is that the opponents will reveal my illusionist. There is only 1 card that allows you to have a power and to point at where the illusionist is. So eventually, slowly, I start showing cards. So the selection where my illusionist is, it gets narrow and narrow, and with lack of deduction, they can figure out where the illusionist is. And so they will, for example, point at this. So I'm going to reveal it. In order to save my illusionist, I need to find my ace. My ace could be in my hand. If it's so, I will play, but in this case, it's not in my hand. So I need to reveal it from the cards on front of me. I may know where the ace is. So in this case, I know it's here, so I can reveal it. I will save my illusionist. But if I don't know, I may have an idea what's in the others cards underneath because I already look at them. So I may just guess, or could make an educated guess and say my ace should be here. And so if that's the case, I save my illusionist, and what happens, I take the cards back to me and I shuffle them, and we start the game. If the opponent finds my illusionist, that will occur the same. I will take the cards again, shuffle it, and set up as before the game. Whoever finds the opponent illusionist for 2 times wins the game. And here you have it, Clash of Corgis, a little box with a lot of game into that. The first game, honestly, take it or leave it, is a classic card shedding game with special powers. I don't think it's too much interesting. The other 2 actually have something different. The second one is some sort of war, but you have more strategy. You can use the special powers. You can use your push or luck, and that's nice. And then you have the 2 players that has some luck, but also deduction. You see a player that doesn't really want to use one of the cards in front of them. That means perhaps where the illusionist is. So it's everything is very quick. The art is cute. Corgis, who know, everyone likes corgis. So if you think it's something that it may attract you and you like the compact version of this, definitely check Clash of Corgis. And if you've made it that far, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share with your friends. You know the drill. This is not your first YouTube video. Am I right? Thank you very much and see you next time. Wow!